Hello everyone, thank you for joining us for another training webinar. Today we will take a look at how you can manage your tasks and other activities in Nimble. We will also cover how you can create to-do lists in Nimble and how managers can report on individual activities of each user, as well as how to export reports. If you have any questions or feedback during today's session, please type them in the questions box and we will cover them at the end of today's session. Oops. For those of you that are either new to Nimble or are thinking about trialing it, let's quickly look at what Nimble CRM is. Nimble is an easy-to-use CRM that works for you in Office 365, G Suite, and everywhere else you work. It automatically combines your contacts, communication histories, email inboxes, and calendar appointments. It also integrates with social media and with over 200 different applications such as MailChimp, Quickbooks Online, Outlook Contacts, and more. For today's webinar, we'll jump right into how to use tasks and other activities in Nimble. If you're interested in an overall demo of the application, you can either head to our YouTube channel and watch one of our previous webinars, or you can register for the next general Nimble overview we are hosting next week. My colleague Nadia will share a link to the webinar page that you can register for any webinar that fits into your schedule. So the next training webinars will be next week, the general overview. The week after that, we will cover how to use Nimble for prospecting, and then there will be another general Nimble overview. And then in early September, we'll do the contact import and contact management strategies overview. So let's get into the app itself. So this is the Nimble Today page, and it's your customizable dashboard that's up to you which boxes that you want to have where. We call them widgets. You can arrange them however you want to by using these three dots, or by clicking manage widgets. You can move them around so that the ones you want to see first are going to be at the top of the page. So for the purpose of today's session, we're going to focus on the tasks widget, which is right here. So when you click on the drop-down menu, you can select to view your upcoming, overdue, completed, or important tasks. You can also choose to view your team's tasks to keep track of what's on your team members' plates. You can easily click on any of the existing tasks and edit them or write comments on them. And then you can also create new tasks for yourself or anyone else on your team straight from this widget by clicking the Create Task button. And that's one way to create a task. You can also do it from the contact record itself. So let's go to John's. So under this contact info at the top here, you can see these buttons that help you quickly create tasks or log activities. You can also create notes, which are also searchable under the Interactions tab here. So let's just do a test note, add it, and then you would go to Notes, and you can search right here. Okay. So to log anything that already happened in the past, you can use the Log Activity button. When you open up this window, you will notice that the Mark as Completed box is already checked. If you want to use it to schedule a future activity, you can as well. You just have to uncheck this box. You can also use the Schedule button right here to schedule any of the following activities, which would be tasks, events, calls, or any custom activities that you set up. When scheduling tasks, we recommend using more specific names, such as Follow Up with John Ferrara. So right here. Instead of just simply putting like follow up, as it might make it more organized when viewing it in a list of all your tasks. You can also add a task description to add more detail. So follow up regarding MS Inspire. Especially if you're assigning this task to someone else on your team, that's really useful so that they have a little bit more background information. Nimble also gives you the option to set the due date and time, relate the task to multiple contact records, relate it to a deal, or create tags. These tags will be separate from the tags you apply to contact records, tags on tasks can help you separate different projects as well. So for example, if you have a bunch of tasks related to a specific campaign, you can create a tag for this campaign and then focus on first completing all the tasks related to that campaign or other projects that are most important. So let's just, I've already created one because I went over this morning, but let's just tag this as MS Inspire. And then if I had any more activities that were associated with MS Inspire, I can easily recall them using the tags. So events can be used as, or let me just pull that up again. So let's cover the events tab. Events can be used to create actual calendar appointments on any of the calendars you have connected to Nimble. Choose the event name, the appropriate calendar, add event descriptions, set date and time, add locations, or any guests, but note that after adding a guest to an event, a calendar invite will be sent out automatically. You can also relate the event to existing deals. If there's a meeting that you're going to have involving something that's going on in your deals pipeline, and you can set repetition if applicable. You can also log calls in Nimble, so you can set the call name, add recipients, add or edit their phone number, add a description, the duration of the call. You can schedule a date and time, and you can also choose the resolution right here. So it would be no resolution, successful, unsuccessful, abandoned, or you left a voicemail. You can add to an existing deal and or apply a tag just to each an event. And again, these tags would be separate from tags applied to the contact record. You can use them to tackle calls related to certain projects and more. Nimble also gives you the option to create and log custom activities. So these activities can be anything such as a LinkedIn message, in-person meeting, product demo, or a specific trade show or conference like MS Inspire. The account admin will be able to create the activity, and users will then be able to access the activity type and log data. So to set up a custom activity type, you would go to Settings, and you would go to Activities, and you would see this button here. If the button is grayed out for you, that's probably because you're not an account admin. So before saving your new activity type, be sure to choose whether this activity will update your contact's last contacted date once it's completed. And if you would like to make changes to any custom activity type, you would just hover over it and click on the pencil icon. You can also archive outdated custom activity types by selecting the trash can icon. So let's just make one test. You can also set an icon for it and then click create. So let's go back to the contact tab. And if you were to go to the custom activity, you would see that it would now show up in the drop-down menu. So let's go to the activity listing that kind of covers the contact record. So the activity listing provides you with a comprehensive table of scheduled and completed activities. The table columns can be configured to quickly see which data is important to you. Additionally, activities can also be exported. As a Nimble user, you will benefit from a more robust activity tracking system, and as a manager, you can track the activity levels of your sales team, compare between users, and make changes over time. This tab will give you the option to display all or specific scheduled and completed activities, including, or let me remove that filter so we can see it. So this would be including tasks, events, and calls that are upcoming, completed, and delegated. In the left-hand corner right here, you can select which team members' activities you wanted to display. So if I just wanted to see my own, I would click that button. If I wanted to see just my teammates, I would apply it this way. Or if you wanted to see all of them, you can do it like that as well. You can also select all or any specific activities right here. So you can also configure this view. So for column selection and reordering, we've added the configure table button right here. Now you can just drag and drop the different columns by clicking on these dots. This way you can see the most relevant information at a glance. The pin button was added, providing you with the ability to fix columns to the start of your list, and all other columns will display thereafter. You can also use save filters from this view. Save filters you like so you can quickly reuse them on the activity table. To create a new save filter, you would click the 3 dots next to type, and you would either select all or choose the specific events that you wanted to see. And then you would select save filter and give it a name. Not very creative today, sorry. And then once you save the filter, it would show up under here in alphabetical order, so you can easily find it again. To delete the filter, you would click on this drop down and go to settings, and you would see all your filters here above your activities, and you can just delete the filter by clicking on the trash can. So let's go back to the activities tab because I just wanted to cover inline editing before we went to questions. Inline editing has been added to help amplify your workflow and save time on clicks. So you would simply hover over the field that you wanted to edit and this pencil icon will appear. So I can change who it's assigned to, I can change the related contacts, I can add more to the description, tags, and everything else is editable as well. You can also export your activities by clicking this button, and a pop-up window will appear. You will see the exact input of starting and ending date ranges. Once you selected your date range, you can hit export, and Nimble will deliver a CSV file with your exported activities right to your inbox. So that kind of covers the main ways that you can log and create activities in Nimble. So I would like to turn it over to my colleague Sergey for any questions that have come up during the presentation. Hello, Sergey.
Hello, everyone.
Let me share the screen or make you a presenter. Okay. And then let me get okay. So are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So Adri's asking, can you import notes via a CSV file?
Yeah, so I answered that, and we currently don't have that capability, and it's very high up on our roadmap, and we should have it before the end of the year.
Okay. Ira's asking, the webinars are great, but do you offer one-on-one training? We have daily Q&A sessions at 9 a.m. Pacific. Those are really helpful. Nydia, if you could share a link to the webinars page so Ira can access where to sign up for the Q&As. Those are typically a little more intimate, I would say. And you have, if no one else is signed up for it, then you can just talk one-on-one with the customer service representative. David says, I am a one-man band. Nimble is obviously focused on teamwork. Can it be used effectively for just me?
Yes, of course. So we always try to emphasize end user experience more than like just reporting and different like basic CRM stuff. So there are many features that can be used for individual. One of the best features that we cover in other webinars is our widget. So this is what we mean when we say we will work everywhere you work. On any website, you can install our browser extension and easily just hover on somebody, and it will build a live profile for you, or it will populate a contact from your database. So for example, this particular person is not in my database, and this is all the data that we've been able to discover for him in a matter of seconds. And if you like this person, you can save them as a contact, you can tag them, you can schedule some follow-ups, and just takes you a second to do it.
Okay. Brandy's asking if you have a business account, can only the admin see everyone's activities so that each individual cannot see everyone's activities?
So by default, we right now have the shared activities. So like for activities inside Nimble, tasks, events, calls, you can see all of them. Events from your external calendars will be private, and they are not shared inside Nimble. And we're working on adding more privacy controls for teams. So contact privacy is coming soon, and then activities and deals privacy will be next after that.
Vanessa's asking, is there a way for tasks to pop up from deals/pipeline when the next step is late?
So we don't have automatic task scheduling for deals pipeline, but we have this in your settings. You can set up in pipeline settings. You can set up how many limits of days in stage, and as soon as a deal sits more than this amount of days in stage, it will be highlighted with a red. And there's also on the deals, like in your today page, you'll be also able to see this stack deal.
Brandy's asking, what is the difference between activities and tasks?
So activities is a more broad term for all kind of interactions that happen between you and your customers. Tasks is specific task-specific entities that we tailor for you, like to collaborate on different things within your team. So you will mostly use tasks to assign them to your other team members who are also Nimble users. And events, calls, and all the custom activities that you are creating, they're for you to log interactions between your team and the customer. So as Megan showed, you can have a lot of different custom activity types to better capture different interactions between you and your customers. And all these activities will be displayed in the contacts tab, and you'll just be able to see all of them in this view.
David's asking, where is the data stored and can this location be modified?
So data is stored in the US Azure data centers, and we cannot modify the location where data stays stored right now.
Laura's asking, what activity types are available for all users to view versus confidential entries?
So pretty much everything except for your external calendars are public in regards to activities in Nimble. So we make it in order for you to see what is going on with your customers. And as I said before, we are working on adding more granularity to the privacy controls for activities, but it's not in the platform yet.
Okay. Adger's asking, when importing a contact, I create a tag for the owner of the record. However, after import, there's a field called owner. Should I delete and re-import and change the field name that I tagged to owner?
Yeah, we have an owner field, and this is our recent addition to platform. So we soon will have ability for you to select owner during the CSV import, and you also will be able to bulk assign owner just in probably a couple of weeks when our release that is currently in testing hits the production. So you'll be able to just select all of your tagged people, bulk assign owner to them, and then you can remove the tags that you don't need anymore. And once the CSV import is on production with owner support, you'll be able to just straight from the import assign an owner or map a column to an owner field.
Okay. It looks like we don't have, we have one more question that just popped up. David's asking, the typical data being stored about customers is very private. How does Nimble protect this data? How would I know if my data has been compromised, e.g. if I have a legal obligation to protect private data, GDPR? Is this information available somewhere?
So we have our privacy policies and data processing addendum. So we take all the precautions to keep your data secure. Everything is encrypted, addressed, and in transition. And yeah, we pass regularly, like even in order for us to use Gmail, we had to pass the security audit by the remote company, and we passed it without any problem. So we take data privacy very, very seriously, and we never expose or sell or do anything with your data. And everything that is done to your data is in our privacy policies and data addendums, data processing addendum.
Angela is asking, how to use QuickBooks on this?
So QuickBooks, we have an integration with QuickBooks using our networks and imports and our provider, our partner of PySync. So you're able to integrate QuickBooks contacts with Nimble contacts and then synchronize them bidirectionally between QuickBooks and Nimble. So just go to networks and import, type QuickBooks and follow instructions. And yeah, it should be working for you.
Angela is also asking, can you send the same email to a number of contacts at the same time?
Yes, so we have a feature that is called group messaging. So if you want, for example, to select multiple email and then click send a group message, it will populate you with emails that you had. So one of these contacts didn't have an email. So we showed that, like, okay, we can send an email to him. There's a button of discover contact info. So let's see, we need a company name and the name of the person in order for you to discover, in order for our engine to discover the contact information. So this is definitely not the correct person, so most likely it won't find anything. Yeah, so it found some data about the person, but we weren't able to verify it. So this email means that we don't know if it is a right email or no. But just for example, if I save it, then you'll have all the emails, and you can use our template features and everything to just populate the text and send a group message to all of this. When you send an email this way, it will appear as if you type an email to every person individually. So it will go through your email provider. It can be Gmail, Office 365, or any other IMAP provider that you connect to Nimble. And then it will like send an individual message to every of these people. And you can also use some merge tags to customize the message to a particular person. Unsubscribe link, we recommend it to include it if you use must send your email, just to stay compliant with all the laws, but you can also remove it and send without it if you don't need it.
Dennis is asking, can you show a working integration and how do we do that?
So working integration, I guess this is a question about our integrations between like all the integrations that we have inside Nimble. So how do we do it? You just, I don't have anything connected, but for example, let's go and connect something. So when you go and you set up integration between your system and some other system, you need to authorize into both platforms. So I'm going to authorize intercom. Okay. go through a regular OAuth flow, and one second to pull up my password. So once you finalize it, we'll ask for your Nimble credentials as well. Yeah, and then it will show you customizable widget. So you can select different like lead users that Intercom support. And then after that, you will be able to go and select, do you want to synchronize only from Nimble to Intercom bidirectionally or from Intercom to Nimble? And then you have these connection rules. You can add filters, you can select mappings of the fields over here, like what fields you want to synchronize. And you have a lot of control in order for you to set up this integration. So we have a special contract with PySync where for the first 30 days it's unlimited, and then you have 2,000 contacts per month synchronized for free.
If it helps, Dennis said, no, not that on a contact.
Oh, so on a contact, sorry. So on the contact, so this is just a way for you to integrate some external iframe into Nimble contact, and you can select some contact names. So there is a super article from how these wildcards are looking. So this is mostly used right now for internal integrations with different providers, and some of our marketplace integrations utilize this feature in order to embed their UI inside Nimble. A lot of third-party providers like Maps, TechCrunch, or something, they prohibit right now to embed their applications into iframe. So for most of the external services, you won't be able to integrate the contacts, their iframe inside the contact, just because they say this is like they restrict their pages to be embedded inside the iframe.
Are you ready for the next question?
Yes.
Cindy's asking, can shared drives in Office 365 be synced, or do you have to upload documents related to tasks and activities?
So we don't have automatic synchronizations, but you have this Microsoft OneDrive button to attach files to contacts when you need them.
Laura's asking, do you have to have a paid PySync account to use the MailChimp integration?
You don't need to pay if you synchronize less than 2,000 contacts per month, and it's not the total amount of contacts, it's just contacts that have been added or modified per month. So if you're under that limit, you don't need to have a paid PySync account. If you're above it, then you'll have to sign up for one of their plans.
Ira's asking, in addition to the 9 a.m. Pacific calls, is there another way to communicate with customer service, either via call or chat?
Yeah, so we have a Calendly link where you can, I'll send it to you in the chat box. So yeah, you can set up a call using that link.
David's asking, does Nimble's privacy policies include PySync, i.e. do you ensure they are secure, or do you assume that they are secure?
So we use OAuth to synchronize data, and allows us for your permission to access your data. And we also have GDPR and other required legal agreements between us and Python. So we don't share data outside of, we never sell any customer data without your consent. And when you first time connect Python, you'll have a special terms of service, and we will ask you for permission to share the data. And without your permission, we never share data with Python.
Laura's asking, can you attach MS Teams files?
So as far as I know, Microsoft Teams files are also stored in your OneDrive or SharePoint. And I think you should be able to attach them as well. If they are stored outside of OneDrive, then you won't be able to connect it right now. We don't support it.
Okay, I think that's all the questions we have. I tried to find the Care Calendly link, but I don't have it handy. And I asked Iona, but I think she's on a call.
I sent it to chat, so everyone should be able to see it. It's calendly.com/nimble_care, one word.
/nimble. Okay. Cool. So thanks for your help, Sergey.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to take the screen back from you, actually, so I can finish the presentation. Okay, so we also have a special offer for new users. If you sign up today, you get 30 days of Nimble for free. So you would go to nimble.com/offer/webinar30. Nettie, if you can also just drop that in the chat box so that people can access it easier, that would be great. But we will also include this in the follow-up emails. And if you are already in trial, you can just reach out to us at care@nimble.com and we'll happily give you the 30 days as well. So you can also download our onboarding checklist that will also be included in the follow-up emails. So don't worry about this link. And that wraps up our presentation today. So thank you for joining us, and I hope to see you next week when we do our general overview. Have a good day.